Welcome back to The Upshot, the podcast about the funniest stories in sport this week. On the pod today, Quincy Promes is finally banged up. Rangers swoop for the grandson of Mussolini. And some shit fucking tournament is kicking off in America. My name is Jack. JP's here.
Hello.
Hello. We got Zach as well.
Hello, Jack.
How's everyone doing?
Really good, thank you, mate.
Everyone having a great Club World Cup?
I am loving it.
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't really been following it that much, to be honest. But
drink the Gatorade, mate. Come on in.
Come on, I'm too.
Is that like Kool-Aid, but a Club World Cup?
Yeah.
Drink the Gatorade.
No, I haven't.
Drink the Saudi
I'm a hipster football fan, JP.
Quickly, literally just after we stopped recording last week, news broke in the Gulf that Quincy Promes has finally been arrested in Dubai.
Should have done the pod an hour later, shouldn't we?
Yeah, lesson learned. That was unprofessional of us to miss it. So
Yes.
yeah, basically he got arrested in Dubai from his house, and it turns out this was at the behest of the Dutch authorities. So apparently the extradition's happening.
This was post his interview, right?
Yeah, so he gave this interview saying, I want to come back to the Netherlands and face no consequences, and I want to appeal my drug smuggling charge. And Netherlands said niche. I think that's more German, but anyway, they said niche. What is no in Dutch? Who cares?
Neat. I think you say neat.
Neat.
And
Then the Dubai, and then the Dubai police said you're under arrest, and he's now being extradited. Apparently,
I thought the whole reason he was in Dubai is the fact that he can't get extradited, or if they.
Well, that was his Russia move, and then Dubai was like he got kind of stuck there. But yeah, it looked like he was going to be all right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's coming home.
So is he? So he's currently awaiting extradition.
Sounds like
where
it.
we're
That's
at?
what everyone's saying. So we'll keep people abreast. If you want the longer story and haven't heard it, our last week's episode titled "Quincy Promes is Coming Home."
It's
It
coming
gives
to
the
fruition.
full saga, so you can hear it there.
I'm sure he'll be releasing some sort of drill track in the next couple of weeks.
Can't wait. Can't wait. His pal Memphis Depay, pretty quiet at this stage, but yeah,
Just
looking
wait.
forward to it. Speaking of big moves, I saw Rangers. They're now flush with American private equity cash, and they've swooped for a little-known Lazio youngster by the name of Romano Mussolini. So yeah, it's the grandson of Benito Mussolini, Il
Wow.
Duce himself.
Wow.
Yeah,
Where have they got him from?
Lazio. He's been on loan at some other Italian clubs, but he's on the books at Lazio. And I think we've talked about this before, but do you know what his position is?
Don't tell me it's.
Right wing. He's on the fucking right wing.
It's just
That's so
all the
good.
stars have aligned, haven't they?
Yeah, it actually amazes me how established in Italian society the Mussolini family still are.
Are they?
Yeah,
they
I mean,
still
like
at the
one
upper
of them is a politician in the European Parliament. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. But
Are they
you
fascists?
would think she's for the Forza Italia party.
Is
so
that
that's the
Berlusconi's lot?
Is that
I believe so.
is that right wing? Yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I find it quite funny
but-
that she's like descended from Mussolini, who sort of like wants to invade Libya and stuff, and then she's like sort of handling fish mandates,
The
directives.
European Parliament.
Also,
yeah.
you couldn't really imagine like Hitler's family still being like within the German like system. Do you know what I mean? And it's quite similar.
Yeah, or you would change your name at least.
Yeah.
Apparently, they were talking about on Finn vs. History that Hitler's grandson or great grandson, I think it was grandson, was a nonce. He got done for
Nonce.
noncing.
Really?
Yeah, for noncing. in
Shamed the
Germany.
family name.
Yeah.
That. To be fair, it's a bit of a free hit if you're Hitler's grand. It's like,
Yeah, true.
do
Yeah.
your worst, pal.
I didn't
And he
realize.
did, to be fair.
I didn't realize Hitler also had English relatives.
Yeah, I knew this.
William Patrick Hitler.
That's a made-up person.
No, it's
No, it's not.
genuinely a real person. So Hitler's older half brother, who also grew up in Austria. I think he grew up in Austria, but then moved to Dublin, and he was working as a KP in a hotel in Dublin. Married an Irish girl, and they ended up moving to Liverpool,
Oh yeah.
where William Patrick Hitler was born, and lived for a while. I think maybe he was like struggling for work for a little bit, and this was the 1930s, and he thought his dad was like, "Why don't you go find a job with your uncle?" So moved over to
Lovely bloke.
Uncle Addy.
Germany for the 1930s, and yeah, was in Germany for a little while. And then
So
later,
this is Scouse Hitler.
this Scouse Hitler.
Hey, calm down. Hey, Addy, calm down.
Yeah, and then he ended up moving then to the US.
He
and
was
then
in the Navy.
joined the Navy and fought against Hitler.
Yeah.
And their family home got bombed in the Blitz in Liverpool.
What, the Hitler family home?
Hitler's own brother's
Right.
house got bombed.
Jesus.
Really?
In Toxa.
And did they then change their name?
Uh,
Heidler.
I think William Patrick started going by some other name.
Some anglicised.
Which yeah, I mean, I would probably do the same if my surname was Hitler.
Surely
The
you
Mussolini family haven't done that.
Surely you wouldn't be able to join the US Navy without having a different name, because it's sort of like a lot. Surely you're going to get your
Yeah.
in of your
Yeah,
own.
you would think so.
Private
yeah.
Hitler reporting for duty. I think we're going to put you on the really secret D-Day plans, actually, pal. He is a Scouser, so
Yeah.
you probably trust that he's not a German spy.
God, what a journey!
I know.
I'm just trying to think of more Scouse Hitler nicknames.
Yeah.
Hitler.
Hitler.
Yeah.
Have we talked about this already? That someone said to me that on YouTube they've started they won't run ads on your videos if you mention Hitler,
Really?
because which I've definitely seen loads of videos with Hitler, but apparently some creators have had this problem, and because they're worried it's like neo-Nazism or whatever, so they've started not using his name and referring to him as H-Man in like a history video.
H dog.
H dog.
H-dog.
Dolphy H.
Yeah. Whatever gets your ad
Did
spend
the-
up.
Yeah, amen. But should we?
Did the Holly C?
Holly C? Oh. I thought it was funny.
Decide if we want to cut that one.
It's on the Holly C. Is that like Platty Jubes?
The cause he lives, yeah.
Right, should we talk about the Club World Cup?
Yeah.
Oh, go on then.
Let's
The
get back-
unmentionable tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get back to sport.
Have you watched any?
No.
I have.
No,
I'm not.
no.
It's a blanket ban.
It's,
Why?
You've watched? What did you
It's
watch?
like 8:00 at night on a
Oh,
Tuesday. There's just a game on.
Did you watch the Chelsea game?
I watched the Chelsea
You were
game.
one of the few
Yeah.
people who did watch it.
I watched it, and they played "Freed from Desire" at the start and at the end of every single ad break. It was on like 16 times throughout the
Are you
match.
saying that's a good thing?
I like that song, but it just like it's a bit OTT.
What,
isn't
isn't it
it?
just on the TV coverage?
Yeah, like da break and then come back in. And I think what they're trying to do is like rile up the stadiums or rile up the viewers at home as well. But eventually it was just like fuck.
Because they also haven't they got the players who are being introduced individually?
Yeah, so it comes out like a boxing ring.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's
Cole Palmer.
It is, I don't know. They're just like importing all these quite irritating aspects of American sport into football. It just doesn't make sense.
They can't do man of the match either. It's
it's-
human being of the match
What
or
is it? It's
It's not player.
what's it
individual
called?
of the match.
No, it's got a funny name.
MVP.
It's like
Player
it's
of
like
the match.
MVP.
Is it not
No.
player of the match?
It's a
No.
what's it called? Special something. Superior player.
Superior
of the match.
player of the match.
What?
Yeah.
Just, what is wrong with man of the match?
But also,
Player of
what's the word
match, or-
superior adding? Is that a sponsor or something? Is that
No, it's just
possibly.
to show that they were the top player.
but player of the match?
Mm.
Yeah, fucking
I-
hell.
They're like FIFA's press releases about this. We were reading some of them before, and it kind of reminds me of like, is it Newspeak from 1984, where they just, if you repeat a lie enough times, and it becomes the truth. Like their press release about the first game was like, there was the Club World Cup open to an electric atmosphere in a packed stadium who witnessed like a thrilling draw between Inter Miami and Al Ahly, which couldn't be further from the truth. Really, it was possibly
It was a draw.
it was a draw. It was a very drab 0-0. And
How many people there?
that one, I think it was about 60,000.
All right, fair enough.
Which is all right. Then
But they couldn't sell it out for Messi. It wasn't a sellout, was it?
it wasn't a sellout. No. And then the Chelsea LAFC game was pathetically empty.
Apparently, they were they put the fans that bought the last minute seats in the gods, and I'm sure obviously it's like tricky to like allocate it, but like there was like patches of people like in the sky whilst everyone on ground level was just it was like dead.
Weren't
Yeah.
they deliberately selling the tickets from in front of the TV cameras, I saw a map of tickets available, and the only ones that weren't left was like a huge cluster on the side where the cameras
Really?
are. Yeah, so that you don't see it on TV.
It's like propaganda, this
It
shit.
really is. It's like North Korea stuff.
So we're calling it Orwellian.
But yeah, it was 22,000 were at that game, the Chelsea LFC one, in a 71,000 capacity stadium.
It was like a
which is-
Monday afternoon. Wasn't
Yeah, it's
it?
Monday afternoon, but still, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
And apparently the ticket prices were plummeting before the game. So there was an offer going around. Students could get 5 tickets for $20.
Nice.
So they're free.
They're basically free and still weren't shifting them. For the Porto against Palmeiras, there were apparently 36,000 empty seats. Seattle Sounders versus Botafogo, 38,500, and not a single game out of the remaining 55 have sold out.
Even the final.
Even the final.
So you've had the tickets are probably like $600 or something.
Ridiculous.
But it's still a
The-
resounding success.
It is a resounding success, and with the code UPSHOT10, you can buy
yeah, 14 tickets.
Yeah, 14 tickets for $10. So Ulsan against Mamelodi Sundowns,
The biggie.
the biggie. The official figure for the attendance was 3,300. Although people who were at the game would say it was more like 600.
Yeah. Apparently it was
Which-
like an hour before kickoff, someone counted the fans. There were
Really?
57 people were there.
Just for something to do.
Like that would be a poor turnout for a League Two game.
Yeah. I mean, so Ulsan are South Korean, Mamelodi Sundowns is South African.
South African.
Not the most obvious support bases in
True.
Orlando.
Yeah. Mamelodi Sundowns won.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Up the Sundowns.
Yeah.
They sunsetted their opposition.
I do think, like, if the games start, obviously, we're presuming the big teams are going to go through. Like, people are going to watch the quarters and the semis. I
So it's
think.
looking a bit tricky for Bayern.
Really?
Well, 'cause their opening game was quite tight.
It they had a real challenge in their first game. It was probably the most eventful game so far, definitely in terms of goals. They beat Auckland City 10-0, which, you know,
joke.
it becomes slightly less impressive when you think about the fact it was 33-time Bundesliga champions against a part-time team. So Auckland City had an engineer playing, a Coca-Cola sales rep, a guy who worked for the shipping service. Their goalkeeper and captain, Conor Tracy, he works in a warehouse normally. But apparently he'd already used up all his holiday playing in the Oceania Champions League, so he had to take unpaid leave to play in this tournament.
And also their manager isn't there, their usual manager, because he's a dentist and he couldn't get the time off. He's like got some root canals to do. But
Do you think he's got it on in the you're sitting back in the chair and he's like, can we just hold on a second? I just watch this."
Oh, well
surely
done.
if you're
Well done,
him,
John.
you kind of want to see them get smashed 10-0 because you're like,
Well, they could
nothing without me.
Yeah.
I guided them there, but you know.
I saw an interview of Elise, who you'd think would be like, you know, quite nice about, you know, they've come out and tried and they were like, oh, have you, how do you feel about playing a part-time team? Did you start feeling a little bit bad when, you know, it got to 4 or 5-0? He's like, no. do you think that it's fair that you're playing a team that's like made up of people that are just part-time? No.
Doesn't he
I mean,
always do interviews like that?
It's just like,
Yeah, I kind of respect it. Like, you can only beat what's in front of you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I think
true.
Auckland City are getting given, just for being there, £2.5 million.
yeah, which is like fucking seed
Yeah,
capital.
so
for
the
them
New
to
Zealand
start.
League is now theirs forever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They'll be the 33 times. Like, they're just going to fuck up all these smaller leagues.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But great for Conor Tracy, who's, you know, unpaid leave's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, and also, but like Bayern played their first team basically, which
Yeah.
which surprised me as well.
Have you seen, in context to how good they are, Opta ranked them something like 5,000th in the world, and the lowest League Two team is 2,000 and something.
Right.
for
I mean, they're an
context.
amateur
really?
team, aren't they?
Yeah, completely amateur.
Yeah.
Nowhere near League Two in this
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
Mm.
I saw the right mid for Auckland was like a sonographer, is it?
Yeah.
That
Does-
reminded
Does
me.
like ultrasounds.
Ultrasound
at the
scans.
hospital.
It reminds me of, you know, like whenever we play San Marino, they do
Yeah,
the like
yeah.
breakdown of what they all actually do.
Mm.
It's like, fucking hell, how
Yeah.
is this even
But
happening?
could Vincent Company, you know, run a successful warehouse?
Yeah,
Probably
true,
not.
true. Get a man who can do both.
That was a tweet from Paul
Paul
Watson
Watson,
that we
yeah.
had on. He was like, for the return leg, you should get Harry Kane doing root canals. Michael Elise flogging Coca-Cola to
Yeah.
wholesale. Actually, there's one team who do seem to be enjoying it, along with their fans, are Boca Juniors. And I imagine that there were probably a few nervous glances on the Miami City Council when Boca were drawn to play their first game there, because they've got pretty notorious ultras, and you might be worried that all of their drums, flares, penchant for scrapping might slightly spoil the permatanned crypto swindler vibe that Miami's been cultivating for a while. But it turned out there's nothing to worry about, because the Boca fans were more concerned with riding the Hogwarts Express and getting selfies with minions. So a huge group of them descended en masse to Universal Studios, the sort of Disneyland-esque theme park. We've got a video here of them riding on the roller coaster.
Are they chanting? I love that.
So they're having it.
You can't imagine like the fanatics from Italy when they come over going to Fort Park, can you?
I mean, to be fair, there's not a lot else to do in Miami, I think.
True. You got a lot of time to kill.
That is the local culture. It's like Universal Studios, isn't it? There was another video of them invading a Walmart. Like that's Florida
It's
culture,
America,
there,
baby.
Yeah. Got to see the sights.
They had a big barbecue party on Miami Beach as well, which was slightly spoiled when River Plate fans, their hated rivals, hired out a plane and flew over with a banner that reminded Boca about their defeat in the 2018 Copa Libertadores final.
6 years ago.
How did they
7
know
years
they were
ago.
on the fucking beach? That's mental.
I don't know.
A River Plate there in the tournament?
River Plate are playing as well, yeah.
Right.
I can't remember if they won or lost. Haven't been following it really. But anyway, it's quite nice to see a bit of enthusiasm from
definitely.
fans anyway.
Wonder if they had their barbecue in those trolleys that we did a little while ago. Do you remember? When they light the bottom of the trolley up and then barbecue all the meat in the supermarket trolley.
Oh, that was
yes. That's the American
NFL
tailgate
thing,
vibe.
right?
isn't it?
Tailgate, yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Mm.
I guess the South American teams, they're the ones it's like you could do okay in the tournament, and this is actually a big deal for you because you don't normally get to play in competition against the Europeans.
Yeah, I'm actually quite interested to see like how that matchup
that's
goes.
sort of the only.
Mm.
Sounds like you've drunk the Kool-Aid a little bit.
I have drunk the Kool-Aid. It's what else are we doing at the minute?
Why do we have to fucking watch football at the moment?
Oh, is it cricket
Or make
season?
this podcast? It is cricket season. It's tennis season.
Yeah, we know it's cricket season. We know you all went last week.
We did.
I did say, do you want to come?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you not get the?
Oh, did
get
you
the
have a
call
nice
up?
curry afterwards?
We had
did
a
you?
great time. Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, one of favourite days for a
Out with
while.
the Finn versus History lot.
Yeah. Cool.
Just, all the big podcasters. You were invited, JP.
I know I was. I'm just bitter I couldn't make it. We're doing the
yeah.
fishing ep in a couple of weeks anyway. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. I also enjoyed a clip of Infantino trying to take a corner.
Oh, yeah.
Because I saw Trump described him as the king of football,
King of soccer.
the king of soccer, which, judging by this free kick, he leaves something to be desired.
Is it a corner or a free kick?
It's a corner.
Just tell.
Just straight behind the goal.
I like
Go
the
on.
way everyone who was waiting for the corner to come in just turns away. Doesn't even bother to
Goal kick.
give him a hard time.
Thing is, I sometimes on social clips will get abused by people being like, anyone with a football podcast should have to do 30 kick-ups, which I think is, quite
Is that happening in this room?
not
could
for
do-
me.
I could do
You do
30
30, couldn't you?
kick-ups,
Actually, you know what? I've been getting quite good recently because I've been getting my son with a ball, and I've definitely improved, but I'm not doing 30. But I think that's a very pathetic way of looking at football. However, Infantino is the head of FIFA.
True.
You'd like
Yeah.
to think he
Does he have? He doesn't have any football background.
he's a
does he?
lawyer.
Well,
Okay.
Absolutely.
He's
not.
obviously a fan.
Yeah.
Not that run out.
I saw also clips of him at the games, and he's just watching them with iShow Speed. And there's like a clip of Infantino being like, I'm going to the toilet. Speed, you can be FIFA president for a bit. Wear my jacket. It's like,
Now.
is Speed not like 20? It's like, what are you doing?
Also, he's like, okay, so he's supposed to be the most important man in football, really. He's like the governing body. Surely you're not going to, surely you sit with someone who's a bit more important than I show speed.
Mm.
Yeah. It's all very
Yeah.
infantilizing.
Surely sit with like Ronaldo or
Ronaldo.
Yeah, or like the head of Saudi Aramco.
Yeah.
yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. Anyway, while FIFA is filling its coffers in the States, the ramifications of the Club World Cup are hitting businesses across the planet, and none more so than Wayne Lineker's Ibiza Beach Club. So, this time of year is normally populated with the likes of John Stones, the Bellingham brothers, But unfortunately for Wayne, Europe's biggest stars are instead spending their summer taking on Wydad AC and Mamelodi Sundowns in front of half-empty stadiums. But on the plus side, that has opened the door to some slightly second-rate figures. So Conor McGregor was pictured partying there alongside Katie Price and Kevin Danso, the Spurs defender. Not exactly sure how Kevin got the call up.
Random crew.
Yeah.
Surely you can just show up.
I mean, it is only 21 quid to get in, so
Just pay to get in.
21 quid to get in, and then you pay for your tables and drinks. and
Right.
stuff.
Also, Kevin only moved from Lens to Tottenham a few months ago, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he doesn't yet know what a scumbag Conor McGregor is.
Maybe just a big Katie Price fan.
Could
Yeah.
be that.
Or a
Yeah.
massive Wayne Lineker fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
most likely.
there was quite a weird picture doing the rounds of Wayne Lineker and Katie Price, where he's pubbing on her.
All right,
really.
Katie.
Is he perving on her? They're just sort of.
I think maybe he's just
Well,
looking at in the direction
think you-
of maybe there's someone on the floor.
It's
There could
pretty
be
hard
his-
not to look in the direction of her boobs.
Yeah,
They are vast.
Also, you
they're
could,
basically the same size as his head.
Yeah, they're massive. She's doing her like classic glamour model pose there,
yeah.
isn't she?
I mean, I think she. I mean, I know she looks mental, but she looks quite
looks
good.
unusual.
I think. Yeah.
I haven't seen many humans looking like that.
Yeah.
Also, just the placement of the Ocean Beach Carp. It's just all
Yeah.
all a bit
She's-
too staged.
She's only 47.
Is she?
Yeah, she's still
Mm.
got a long career ahead.
Yeah, she's got a long.
She's done a lot in those 47 years.
Yeah, she certainly has.
Were they just? Was this a social call? As in, did she just happen to be there?
I don't know, but I think Wayne says he invites her every year.
And she's been
bet he
busy.
fucking
But he
does.
does, yeah. But they also seized the moment to plug Supreme CBD, obviously, which Katie Price has got into recently.
So here I am, guys, at Ocean Beach. Wayne, after all these years, has actually invited me here. Do you know what I mean?
I invite her every year. It's the first time she accepted.
Because my diary's been too busy. But on a different level, one thing me and Wayne have got in common, we both take the CBD oil because sometimes he gets anxiety and stress and all that and needs sleep.
A lot.
Like me. You do, didn't you?
A lot.
It's the same, and we're older, we're busy, we got things going on, and this helps us. And we take the gummies. I've actually brought mine with me in my handbag, and I'll be taking it tonight.
I'm sure that's all you've been
Have you
taking.
tried it?
I think we should take some gummy bears together tonight.
He wants gummy bears, not a drink then. Gummy bears. We can take some gummies, but this is good. This helps you sleep.
Knocks me out.
It does me. It's good. Knocks me off my feet. Love it.
I
Wayne,
think that is one of the best videos I've ever seen.
Wayne looking and sounding like he's just woken up on the piss-stained floor of a cross-channel ferry after like a 9-day bender.
Oh, that is.
How does he have the energy to keep doing it?
He looks tired.
He looks tired, and he looks like he's a bit mashed as well. He's a bit slurry, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, it's summer.
we should take some together.
Summer.
I think he's already had enough by the looks of that video.
Did you both see the huge announcement this week from Ocean Beach?
Go on.
Ocean Beach released its summer schedule, and for the first time ever, Ocean Beach is coming to the UK.
Oh wow.
Oh, really?
What does that mean?
So I was thinking they're going to be getting in like some sort of like really chavvy like development and like building one. They're doing a festival,
Oh,
Yeah. And guess who's headlining the festival,
Go
Jack?
on.
Pete Doherty.
Oh, what?
Really?
My boy, my hero. Pete Doherty.
Doherty at Ocean Beach.
He will
Shit,
play
should we
anywhere at
go?
the moment.
I think he will, mate. Yeah,
I'm going to have to go then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where,
it's-
when?
End of July,
Sorry,
and
but
the
what-
festival is called. Bear with me.
So is it not sort of like Balearic, like poppy EDM?
Well, I thought that
Yeah.
it's poppy, but Ocean Beach is coming to UK for a 3-day festival. Together Again. It's to take place at Bulworth Castle in Cheshire from the 25th to 27th of July.
See there.
Cheshire, obviously.
Ollie Murs, Jamie Webster, Dizzy Rascal, and Pete Doherty are the headliners.
Decent.
I think if we're going to go on a summer night out.
Can't quite picture
yeah.
Pete Doherty popping up at in Ibiza at the beach club with. He's quite a
Imagine.
Pete's quite a wintry figure, I think. Like the idea of him like sweating next to Wayne with those yellow cups. Can't see it.
I don't think it takes much to make him sweat these days.
He looks like he's lost a bit of timber.
He has, yeah. He's looking great.
He's looking really good, yeah.
Oh, good.
I might catch him at Glastonbury.
Jack wants to drag me.
Is he
The
playing
Libertines are already playing, so you'll see
okay.
him once, and Jack wants to go to his acoustic set.
Hang on, and also before the Libertine set, he's doing a talk, Q&A with Carl. I'll be there.
Fuck's sake, mate.
Nice.
So hang on, just on Supreme CBD, was Wayne previously on the Supreme CBD circuit? I think that's a new signing.
I didn't see him on the last one.
We've got to start keeping track. There's some people on Twitter who are keeping track.
Emil Heskey's joined up.
Yeah, which is a huge signing.
Yeah.
And again, you have to say,
I don't know if Wayne's fully in on it. I reckon he's more of a prop.
Oh, do you think Katie's
out?
Yeah.
I thought it was maybe they signed Wayne and they were like, right, let's get our two biggest stars together. We're sending Katie on the next flight.
I reckon Katie agreed to go to O Beach on the basis that he plugged the Supreme.
I would absolutely love to be on the flight to Ibiza that Katie Price is on. That would be like dream celeb
She is
spot.
the type to get like a normal seat on Ryanair and
she's
PR.
a woman of the people.
Yeah.
What, you're saying she should get a private jet?
I don't think she's got that sort of cash anymore, is she? She's bankrupt.
I'm all for people just popping up on the...
Yeah.
See you there, Katie. It would be quite the spot. Conor McGregor, was she hanging out with him?
Yeah, there were photos of them together as well.
Is he not fighting anymore?
Yeah, there was all that talk of the comeback, and then he,
I think he's just absolutely loving life, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he was never going to do a comeback.
I am finding it a bit boring with him now. It's just the same shit over and over.
We're doing
again,
an episode on him soon.
Yeah.
A two-parter very soon with Mike Rice, if that means anything to anyone.
Speaking of people who are unlikely to make fighting comebacks anytime soon, I saw a video of Ricky Hatton on a stag do recently, and he gets into the swimming pool and his shorts fall apart. They fall to pieces.
Well, they perish.
They perish in the water.
Were they old
It's
or
quite
was he
funny.
just
I've got a
fat?
video of it. I think they're not the highest quality shorts. It looks like.
They've probably had a lot of chemicals on them in those pools. Where is this? Vegas.
Have times gone? Are times hard now for old?
I think he's on a good. He's clean, isn't he? We're watching it.
No, we're not.
Why are we watching it online? Your grubby file stash. Your
This
LimeWire
is
downloads.
my private collection.
Oh yeah. They've really perished. Oh, it's just his.
Jesus.
Oh wow. Oh, and a backflip.
That wasn't a backflip. That was just sort of a back flop.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Nice.
I thought you'd enjoy that
I
one.
did actually. Let's send him some news.
Any other holiday news going on?
There was also I saw some pictures of Man United's Joshua Zirkzee on holiday with Matthias de Ligt on holiday, and in Barbados, and they go to a carnival, and Zirkzee is
He's
I
daggering.
believe the term is daggering a girl, and then in this we're looking at sort of triptych. It's what it's called, triptych. Triptych. 3 pictures alongside. There's two of him daggering, and the third one of Zirkzee standing there. Looks like he might have jizzed his pants.
Yeah.
It's a big old wet patch.
Looks like that
yeah.
old 10cc jizz. That doesn't it?
That's a 20cc.
That's-
It's a
yeah.
lot of cum.
It's a nice triptych actually.
Yeah.
It's possible that it's just water, but I'm picturing it as the the scene in Peep Show where Mark Corrigan jizzes his pants in the stationery cupboard. I think Joshua Zirkzee might have done that as this girl. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I
do you
mean,
think she's very oiled up?
oh, that's also possible.
yeah.
She is about half the size of the woman I daggered.
What are you saying is cheating?
Personally. I'm just saying my daggering was better.
Yeah.
Where did you dagger?
Well, I've not told you the story. I won't tell it in full because I have told it on the pod before, but I basically got taken to a house party in Jamaica, like only white guy at the party, and then like suddenly everyone was a bit hostile, and then suddenly the guy on the mic starts going, white boy, white boy. And everyone started chanting white boy. And I got pushed into the middle of this circle and was made to dagger this massive woman. And they were going like, is that how you fuck your girlfriend, white boy? Grab the titties, man.
That's some sort of initiation
And it was
ceremony.
like 5 minutes, 2 songs of them just making me dagger her. It was very intense.
I would have loved to have
I was
seen
kind of
that.
accepted after that at the
Yeah.
party. But I didn't cut my pants. My knob had shriveled up through fear.
Yeah. When me and Jade went to St. Lucia once, there was like we went to a street party and I was like, oh, be careful, like, blah, 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 blah. It could get quite dangerous. I lost her for like 5 minutes, then I just looked on the stage, she was just getting daggered.
Finally enjoying this
Have a
fucking
good time,
on.
Jade, have a good time. I'm going to go and get a rum punch.
Go easy on her, pal.
That's great. She's just soaking up the
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Look, some of us participate in the local culture, and
Yeah,
some people stay on the beach.
Yeah.
Now, after 4 years of Saudi rule, us Newcastle fans, us Geordies, we're used to doing a little bit of mental gymnastics. Maybe Saudi women didn't really want to drive before they changed the law. And yeah, Jamal Khashoggi, he was brutally murdered, but have you ever considered the fact that he did have a bit of an annoying face? And now, with Brighton's Xiao Pedro on the brink of signing for the Magpies, we've got a brand new ethical dilemma to wrestle with. Namely, if a striker bags 10 league goals a season, does it matter if he used to be a little bit noncy? So basically, back when Pedro signed for Watford in 2020, he was 18 years old. And as he was signing on the dotted line, it emerged that he was sort of a little bit dating a 15-year-old, the Brazilian TV star Mel Maia. We're looking at a picture of them together at the time.
That looks really nice.
She does look very young.
She looks extreme. That's a child.
Yeah. I actually don't want to look at that picture anymore. That's really weird.
Your new hero. You've got his name on the back of your shirt.
Of course, mate. On the green Saudi-style away kit that we got next season. So yeah, basically, he did move, obviously, to Watford. He moved to London. She actually stayed behind in Brazil, where, of course, the legal age of consent is 14. So
right.
He didn't break any laws. And the club were forced to release this statement. They said, she has flown back to Brazil, will remain resident there, and has no intention of returning to England until after her 16th birthday.
Jesus.
Which I quite like that she obviously came with him, and then the lawyers were like, hang on.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get her on the first plane.
14 is so fucking young.
She was 15.
Right. Still so young.
Yeah.
There was a similar situation with, do you remember Anderson? No, was it Anderson?
No, it's
sorry,
Kleberson.
Kleberson, the Brazilian guy who played for Man United in mid-2000s. And Alex Ferguson wanted to sign him straight after the 2002 World Cup, but he refused to come because his 14-year-old girlfriend wasn't able to travel with him.
Wasn't she 15?
She was 15. He wanted to wait another year so that he could marry her when she became legal.
I think they did marry as well.
They did. I think they're still together.
See?
No, they signed him the year after.
Yes, it was like
2003.
delayed transfer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Brackets.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Fergie stood
We'll sign
for
you
that.
when you stop being a nonce.
Brackets nonsense. Yeah, I think with Xiao Pedro, 18 and 15, it would have been considered pretty weird, but it's not the worst. I don't think he's a nonce.
3 years is not a big age gap, but when you're 18, it is quite big.
Yeah. Anyway, obviously the issue has reared its head again for Newcastle fans because it looks like he's joining Newcastle. And
Are they still together, this couple?
no, he broke up with her shortly after her 16th birthday. No, I think it was quite soon after he joined Watford.
Okay.
I think he got to England and was like, yeah, I probably don't need to.
Feel like that's the sort of thing Geordies will sweep under the rug if he starts doing well.
Yeah.
Well, there's been quite a lively debate, and because I saw a few people being like, Newcastle fans going to overlook the fact he's a scumbag, and people are like, what's he ever done?
Yeah.
And then that's come up, and then there's a lot of fans just being like, well, in Brazil, the law is 14, and they're no longer together.
Well, I guess look, the law is the law.
Yeah, there have been worse. So actually, Pele, when he was 39, had a 17-year-old girlfriend.
That is fucking nonsense.
That's weird. And so did Jerry Seinfeld. Which is not Brazil. I think Jerry. Exact same age gap. Obviously, we mentioned Kleberson and Sadio Mane. So Sadio Mane, he married an 18-year-old last year. We've talked about this.
Were they going out before she was 18?
He said, or his camp said that they met in 2020 when she was 14. But he said he is a pious man and wanted a pious woman. So yeah.
It's still a bit noncy, that really, isn't it?
Yeah, I actually think quite a lot of nonces are quite pious, quite famously, aren't they?
Yeah.
Chris Evans and Billy Piper.
This was a weird one, wasn't it?
They got married when he was 35 and she was 18. And he wooed her by just buying a Ferrari. They met on a TV program and they just bought her a Ferrari.
She was like the Britney Spears of the UK, and she ended up with Chris fucking Evans.
She described her marriage as being drunk with an old man for several years.
Yeah.
But also, I'm
She's
35.
got not the best tasting men.
What,
right?
Lawrence
Didn't
Fox?
she also
Yeah.
then marry Lawrence Fox?
Oh yeah, fuck.
But like, I'm 35, and I'm just thinking of like if one of my mates turned up to the pub with his 18-year-old wife.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
In her Ferrari.
Kind of
Yeah.
kind of ballsy. I kind of like it.
There's an element of
It's-
what is
yeah.
the rule? Divide your age by 2
I reckon
and
just
add 7.
keep it
So-
legal and no more than 10.
So
So
Cleverson,
how does that put?
Sorry.
What does Xiao Pedro?
Xiao Pedro
So-
was 18, so divide by 2, 9, and add 7, 16. It's perfectly fine. Chris Evans, niche.
I'd go keep
But-
it legal and no more than 10
But Xiao Pedro was keeping it legal, no more than 10
years.
old.
Yeah.
No more than 10 of an age gap.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that's sort of
yeah.
like, okay.
So Xiao Pedro actually qualifies under the old divide your age by 2 plus 7.
Where did you
rule.
get this?
Does-
fucking
That's a
theory?
well-known rule. Come on. In noncing circles.
No,
You've never heard of that rule
He doesn't
before?
because
Sorry.
he's 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9.
Yeah, plus 7,
Plus
16.
7 is 16. His
Oh,
girlfriend's
yeah,
15.
sorry.
He's an odds.
Sorry.
This guy's fucking
Sorry,
genius.
Come on.
Come on.
Yeah.
Do the math.
So he is an aunt, yeah.
Yeah. Officially.
Episode
in a
title.
court of law. We will do the maths.
It's very
He
weird
is
that
an
Brazil
odds.
has that law.
Yeah, it seems so young.
Actually, while we're talking about weird family arrangements, do you see James Haskell's Instagram post?
No.
So it seems like recently he must have lost his dad, which is very sad, very sad for anyone. And he posted a tribute on Instagram with so he posted pictures of him holding a glass of cognac, and the caption says, "It's never easy losing someone you love, but moments like these are made a little more bearable thanks to incredible sponsors like Remy Martin. Their cognac was one of my old man's favourites. Raising a glass feels like the perfect way to honour his memory and celebrate his life."
Surely he's got a hashtag add that.
Yeah. And you know what else he loved? The silky smooth feel of a freshly manscaped ball sack. A feeling only achieved with the help of the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is built to handle your most sensitive areas with care, helping reduce the risks of nicks, cuts and irritation where it matters most. Whether you're cleaning up things up for a date, a trip, or just want to feel a bit more put together, the white hot trimmer makes below the waist grooming a whole lot smoother, literally. Join over 12 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and use the code UPSHOT for 15% off your entire order at manscaped.com. It's what he would have wanted.
Whether you're grieving or grooming, or
Grieving or
both.
grooming.
Hang on, so James Haskell is using his dad's death to promote a cognac
A
It
sponsorship.
looks that way, doesn't it?
Do you think that is legit if his dad was really into Remy Martin cognac?
Yeah, I do feel like
I'm
that
just trying to think
leans-
of, are there certain brands that my old man loves so much
Yeah.
that I would,
Um,
like Manscaped?
I mean, it is a bit weird that he mentions like thanks to my excellent sponsors.
Yeah.
cognac,
Also,
right?
surely the sponsors want to sign that off, and they're probably like, "You don't need to mention your dad's."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my
Death.
dad
Where would-
also loved browsing with no one watching, which is why he uses NordVPN. Use code UPSHOT.
Yeah, where do you draw the line with that?
Yeah.
Any sponsorship, in my opinion, is where you draw the line. Don't mix bereavement and sponsorship. Unless it was like a bereavement counselling service.
Yeah,
Like
like
BetterHelp. Use code UPSHOT. Really ticking them off this week.
Yeah.
Do you think Manscaped would mind? I'm not convinced they listen to our ad reads. Judging by the
You know what
previous-
he would have wanted? An honourable death. For example, joining the Royal Navy.
was more honourable than going at sea.
Are you still doing those?
No, we did one.
We did
and
one advert.
We were described as bootlickers
What's
for
more,
doing it.
more honourable than using the Royal Navy job finder to find a role suited to you?
I am so
For
surprised.
example, being shot at by Somali pirates.
I am so surprised that they came to you two.
Or Royal Navy, yeah.
Yeah,
Couple of
Not
strapping
exactly
lads.
like- not exactly
It was
like
the Euros. They were
pathetic
desperate.
excuses.
Brian specimens.
yeah. If it was me and Jack defending the country, I think we'd be
Yeah,
in
we'd be
deep
fucked.
trouble.
Absolutely.
Dive for your
fucked.
country, but do groom your ball bag before you get into any of that.
Manscaped is the perfect sponsor, in my opinion.
Yeah,
For
for
us,
us.
yeah.
What? Because it's
Yeah,
a bit
you just
naughty.
both
isn't it?
shaggy, bit naughty.
I actually need to do mine before Glastonbury because that's the sort
What,
of
you had
environment you want to
Post
be.
Glasto.
You want to be minimising any sort of like, any
What,
roughing,
you're not-
anything can get caught
You're
in.
planning on getting your kit on display at Glastonbury? Is that why?
You never know.
You never know.
NYC down low.
Yeah, I
Gets
might.
quite
If I'm lucky, I might
raucous.
get a a fist in me at some point in NYC down there. I'm just thinking you just want to, sorry, you just want to be as sort of last year.
If you're quite lucky, you might get a fist in you.
That's what goes down in the dark room, isn't it? I just think you want to be, you want to minimise stuff.
Sweatiness.
I don't want no, I don't want no dingleberries. Last year, I had some serious chafing in that area.
Yeah.
And it's you're like, fuck, I'm gonna have to go home.
Yeah.
And then I got.
Was it getting that bad?
That's
Mate,
quite
I
dramatic.
set off from my tent in 5 minutes. I was like, I don't know if I can do a whole day like this. But someone had some lip balm, and that sorted me right
Yeah,
out.
you do want to just make sure that is like as clean and as
Yeah, I think that area you want it silky smooth.
silky smooth.
Yeah.
And you know,
And what better way to
Yeah.
get in
Yeah,
than with the
then-
lawn?
do they? I actually didn't notice on their list of talking points. There's no mention that it's a good way to avoid dingleberries.
Dingleberries, yeah.
Is that what everyone calls them?
That should be like
I've
a
never
US.
heard
Do you
the
know what
term
dingleberry is?
No,
It's
not
like
exactly.
a small piece of
They're
shit
like-
that's
It gets
stuck in your
caught
arse.
in your arse.
Oh, okay.
Pubes. You might call them
Yeah.
winnets. I've heard before. You ever heard that?
Win it.
It's like a
Winnets
tiny
sound-
bit of shit. It can be a bit of loo roll as well.
That's what they called it in the trenches of the First World War.
When it sounds so
Win it.
proper, doesn't it?
Or win it. That's what they call them in the Royal Navy.
No, I've got to win it.
I think dingleberry is more.
Yeah.
A win it sounds like the type of pet like an aristocrat would have.
Yeah. Yeah, no, a dingleberry. But I think manscaping is your best way to avoid dingleberries at Glastonbury or what's the O Beach Club Festival?
Oh,
There's not going to be a hairy gooch in sight at that festival, apart from Pete Doherty's, which will be pretty matted, I imagine.
Doherty's got dingleberries
Yeah,
coming out of his arse.
He's one of the least manscaped people on earth. But you can avoid that fate. Yeah, use code Upshot. That's a good little ad break, that.
Yeah.
Right. If 5 years of tedious, stage-managed, all-or-nothing football documentaries have taught us anything, it's that footballers these days, they need to be treated like individuals. You know, some need an arm round the shoulder, some need a very stern word, and some need a two-footed, studs-up, meniscus-shattering bastard of a tackle from behind to end their careers once and for all. That must have been the thinking of former Hibernian manager Lee Johnson, who is in a bit of a pickle after he flew in on his young midfielder, Jake Doyle Hayes, in a training session. So I think it was one of those, training match where the gaffer plays just to make up the numbers, him and his assistant. But unfortunately, he flew in on Jake and left him needing ankle surgery because of horrific injuries.
Fuck.
And Jake's actually now suing the club.
Is he not playing for him?
They released him. Mutual consent. Yeah, I know, the final kick. In January, they released him. He's actually now got another club, but I think he's suffered a lot from this injury and he's now suing Hibs for loss of earnings.
Absolutely fair enough.
Yeah.
I think you've got to pay
Fucking
someone off
idiot.
in that scenario.
Yeah.
Just an overzealous manager.
Do you
Nasty.
think Maresca is going to do the same to Mudryk? Get about this 8-year contract is the only way.
It's the only... What is the latest
It's
on Mudryk?
it's so weird. Like every time he comes up, it just gets brushed under the carpet.
Yeah.
And
Is he
there's
currently
nothing online.
suspended for drug tests?
He's suspended for drugs test. They think that he has. They think that he's going to potentially get away with it, but every time Maresca's asked, it's like,
Who?
Has he got away with it? Because he's basically served like an 8-month ban now already.
well, yeah, if it comes back and he is falsely acquitted, well, so if he is acquitted, then yeah, he would have served his ban, I suppose.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for him.
Well, they had
Fingers
another
crossed.
8 months to his contract.
Well, yeah, probably. But I've seen in the press today we're after like 4 other wingers, so I'm sure we'll just keep buying.
Yeah, just keep hoarding
Yeah.
players.
Mm.
Teddy, our producer's got a cracking Mudryk t-shirt.
He has
not
got-
not wearing it annoyingly.
I've got
but
my eye on it.
It's a really good t-shirt.
He was at the celebration party after the Conference League final. He had a medal as well. So another
Nice.
picture of him and Enzo Fernandez.
Nice.
He's still in the fold.
Still in the fold.
Member of the group.
Got great potential.
Mm.
And he definitely doesn't have any dingleberries.
Anyway, speaking of gaffers getting a bit overzealous, Lee Johnson is not the only one to go a bit far in training. So do you remember in 2021 when Wayne Rooney was Derby manager and they had a transfer embargo? So they couldn't sign any players over the summer and they were really short of players in pre-season. So the first team squad had 9 players. 2 of them were goalkeepers. So they had to make up the numbers of a lot of academy players. And, ever one to muck in, Wazza got involved in a training match to make up the numbers. And unfortunately, he got a little bit overexcited and he flew in with a 50-50 challenge on Jason Knight, the midfielder. Left him with an ankle injury. He was ruled out for 3 months.
Fuck. So they're now down to 8 players.
Down to 6 outfield players, thanks to Wazza.
Good afternoon there, Wazza.
Yeah,
well
cheers,
done.
mate. There was a similar story about Graham Souness when he was Blackburn manager. So he obviously famously was a very tough player and manager.
Yeah.
And at Blackburn, he brought in Andy Cole and Dwight York.
I forgot about that.
Post-United era, so early noughties. He was hoping they'd sort of emulate the magic that had catapulted United to a treble. It didn't work. They were a bit of a flop as a pair at Blackburn. And Andy Cole said that when things didn't go well, that Souness basically turned on them. He said, we felt like he was trying to knife us. And he then said, Souness did Dwight in a tackle and training, causing a gash so deep you could see the white of his bone. He could have broken his leg. Dwight was spitting bullets when I heard the commotion as he slaughtered Souness in the canteen right in front of Blackburn's chief exec.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that one sounds deliberate.
Yeah.
Is that not like GBH?
Quite mental that I forgot that they'd tried to recreate that partnership and it just absolutely flopped, didn't it?
It's weird, you think.
After such success together.
How old were they by that point though?
Yeah, it's
Probably like
career,
late
isn't it?
30s, aren't they?
Didn't Dwight York then go to Australia or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did Andy Cole retire after that? He never went to anywhere
No, you
abroad,
don't
did he?
hear much from Andy Cole, do you?
No, but he did you ever hear the hip hop song that he released?
No.
What?
Is it good?
Andy Cole, outstanding.
Is it good?
Outstanding. Got to give it up. Have you never heard
I
this?
think I have actually.
Kind of rings a bell.
Can we put it on for just a
Since
sec?
1993.
Andy Cole, Pied Piper, the unknown MC. Represent the mic and we rock the party. Yo, we flex record. Who's the microphone stepper? No one can do it better.
Early
Yo,
90s.
we
Yeah.
outstanding.
This is decent.
Haven't heard Andy rap yet.
I think he's next on.
Come on. Yeah. Break it down. Tell the world my name. Who's that Andy Cole? I blaze the scene. Score the goals. Keep my eyes on the prize. My inspiration to celebrate life, to rock the nation. Gather round. Get close to me. Here's a VIP to my private party. With the most got likes.
Bit of a fake American accent going on.
I've heard way worse songs
Yeah.
from footballers.
Yeah. That was also, so that was 93, I think it said. So
Peak.
pre-Newcastle?
No, he would have been playing for Newcastle, I
Really?
think then.
I don't know, we only had him not that long.
Really?
Peak of footballers doing rap, because John Barnes obviously World in Motion a few
Yeah.
years earlier.
Yeah.
That's a good era for football, isn't it? That was a real era for football teams releasing songs as well.
Yeah. I mean,
The
that's...
fake American accent's a little great.
Yeah.
Yo, my name's
It's
Danny
the
Cole.
early-
It's a little bit, what's he called, Westwood.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Did Westwood get done for nonsense?
Yeah, Westwood's the nonce,
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
which
Yeah.
could have seen that coming.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Where was he? Newcastle.
I
There
was
you
sorry.
go.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we digress.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
we do.
noncing. Zach?
Speaking of noticing, now we're going to look at pictures of a 15-year-old in his pants. We actually are.
Go on.
Yeah, because we're going to be talking about a 15-year-old called Nicholas Tarasenko from Hull, who is heading to Japan to become a sumo wrestler. Quite a lot of young British talents seem to be plying their trade abroad now. You've got Jude and Job, Bellingham, Trent going to Real Madrid, and now Nicholas is following in their footsteps. So apparently he got into sumo wrestling because his dad is Estonian, and they'd been on a trip to Estonia where they'd watched a sumo wrestling match.
Is it big
and,
there?
apparently so. I don't know. It's bigger than it is here, I think, anyway. And he'd seen a match and got really into it, and when he came back here, was training a bit and pretty good, and he's won a scholarship to a prestigious sumo academy in Kawaguchi in Japan. He's only the second British wrestler ever to go over there.
Oh, wow.
First one was a guy called Nathan John Strange.
And he left because he got bullied.
I
Oh,
read
what?
that as well.
Yeah.
Well, because it's
Sad.
vicious, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's a pretty brutal training regime. We're just looking at a picture of
Of
Nicholas
the 15-year-old boy in his pants.
here.
Yeah.
A 50-year-old boy in his pants. Just
Tim Westwood, if you're watching, there's a bit of material there for your cell.
Yeah, Xiao Pedro is all over this. So I mean, picture on the right, he's clothed.
Looks quite normal.
He looks quite normal. He's not huge. One with just his pants on. He looks like quite a big lad. He's 6'3" apparently. So
Do you have to just be naturally big? I'd assume that you want to be short and stocky, like Maradona shaped.
I don't
Maybe
know.
a bit bigger.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, different.
Tuna can.
depends
I thought you were
on
like a
the
tuna can.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite mad. Apparently, I read that he went on holiday with his parents to go and see his uncle, and then during the holiday, his uncle entered him into a sumo wrestling competition, like unexpectedly.
just out of the blue.
Like halfway through, you're relaxing some holiday, and your uncle knocks on the door, like, right,
Wear this.
we were going to go to the beach today.
Can't we just play mini golf? To fight this huge
Estonian.
700 kilo Japanese man.
Well, just surprised him on holiday.
Yeah, it was like, there was a sumo wrestling competition on in Estonia or somewhere where he was, and they ended up fucking.
Okay.
And
winning
he survived, so they thought.
Survived, yeah.
And now he's in Japan.
Yeah. He's trading at this school, which apparently is a pretty intense experience. So it's partly training. Well, it's a lot of training, but also they help you to put on the weight that you require to do that. So they only eat 2 meals a day apparently, but absolutely massive. So they start the day with a 5-hour training session on an empty stomach, which sounds very tough. And then they have this enormous meal that's centered apparently around this high protein soup called chanko nabe. It's got lots of meat, lots of tofu, veg. It sounds like something you get in a Japanese prison, actually.
We know how nice they are.
Yeah. And then they have a nap directly after the meal, which apparently helps you to increase weight gain.
Right.
So they have 10,000 calories a day.
So that meal that they eat twice a day has got 5,000.
Is that all you eat? You
calories.
just do the soup
Jesus
twice?
Christ.
Yeah, I think so.
So you never
Sounds
get anything else.
Mentally.
I don't know.
It's weird. They
What
look
rice?
a bit like overgrown babies, and they kind of live like them too. They're
Yeah.
just like fed liquid diet and put down for a nap.
Yeah.
They wear a nappy.
That is basically it. Apparently it's very, very hierarchical, as you can imagine as
Yeah,
well.
I
So
bet.
the juniors, so including this is what Nicholas will do, he's responsible for like cooking the meals, doing all the chores,
washing the
chores
shit,
around
washing
the
the
place.
fucking, what's it called?
Yeah, the loincloth thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't realise this, that apparently it's traditional that they don't wash the loincloths
Ever.
because if you wash it, then you wash out the good luck that you've got from previous fights.
Yeah, and some other stuff.
You need that.
Yeah.
You need that.
Dingleberries might wash out with it.
You need those dingleberries and that gooch sweat to get your next win.
That is lucky.
So is it almost like holding up your loincloth is like you demonstrate your experience?
Yeah, I suppose
It's
so.
like showing someone your Wikipedia with how many games you played for like RB Leipzig. It's just like, look at the state of that.
Look at the skid marks on this.
Look at these dingleberries that have become
True,
embedded.
true.
Sleep on it.
Yeah, that must
Thrown
fucking
a few, man.
stink.
It's horrible, yeah. And
How
the
do
juniors,
they don't clean it in any way?
no, so the juniors are responsible for hanging everyone's loincloths out in the sun to.
Dry out. Oh.
Crisping up a bit.
Yeah.
I think that'd be. Imagine
That sounds
the
horrible.
smell.
Imagine putting that back on the next day.
In the. Although they do. I have read sometimes with jeans that you shouldn't wash them and you should put them in the sun.
It's
a bit different.
Yeah.
Not been up a sweaty arse
We're
crack.
not training
Yeah.
for sumo camp.
Yeah.
That's an interesting tradition. And
Yeah.
otherwise, it's just them like punishing
Just
themselves
smashing
for what?
it.
For sort of 10 years.
I don't know
I
how
don't know
long the
how long
years.
I feel like, like with Japan,
it
it's usually a very long time.
Yeah.
You know, like
Long,
sushi
odd.
chefs.
Yeah. Arduous process
Yeah.
and really mentally
Prisoners.
challenging.
Yeah, prisoners of war tended to be quite long.
Yeah, there was also I heard somewhere that the junior sumo wrestlers have to wipe the arse of the senior ones
Why?
because they can't reach.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Like
really?
physically, they can't.
They physically can't reach because they're so
Because their
big. but-
arse is so big.
Yeah, I guess they're just so wide.
How can you
that,
not
like,
reach your
you can't
arsehole?
reach.
Is that
yeah.
a thing?
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah,
What's-
apparently that one is actually a myth.
Oh,
It's true,
really?
sadly.
Does this lad know what he's in for here?
I hope so. Yeah.
Let's keep tabs on him.
Poor
Yeah.
fella. Yeah, we should get a picture of him on the wall, really. Maybe not age 15. Wait for him to. Maybe we could be like the sun, have a countdown calendar.
Wait for him to blossom.
Yeah, and then up on the wall he goes. I love a young prodigy. But,
Yeah.
Right, I think that is all we've got time for on here, but we are now going to be going over to Patreon, where we will be talking about some of the biggest scandals to ever rock the world of car racing. Petrol heads were shocked by these. So Zach, what we've got some drug smugglers.
We've got some drug smugglers who won Le Mans, the 24-hour race. Some prolific $73 million drug empire, and yet they drove their way to 24-hour glory.
Beautiful. Also one about some Christian fraudsters who were involved in that world, who perpetrated a massive fraud to rescue a horny bishop from being blackmailed. That one's good. Them bishops. And also got another quite good story about some drug smuggling.
It involves a plane crash in Yosemite National Park and some climbers and a huge stash of drugs.
Yeah. So join us on Patreon now. If you're not already a member, you can sign up at patreon.com/Upshot Towers. Thanks very much to everyone who does that. We're going to hit 2,000 patrons this week. We're almost certain of that. So join us on there. You also get part 2 of the Rio Ferdinand episode straight away. And if we don't see you on there, we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot for listening. Thanks, JP.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach.
Cheers. See you next time.